Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. Background. My older sister did a student exchange program when she was in college. She liked it so much that she ended up staying there. Eventually, later on, she met someone. They have a child, who is 8 now, and they were planning on getting married. But their relationship fell apart before the wedding happened. My sister wanted to move back here and bring her child with her. I always thought that if a baby had a parent with U.S. citizenship, it automatically made the baby a citizen, no matter where in the world that baby was born. But that's not true. Since my sister and her child's father aren't married, and my sister had not been physically present in the U.S. for years before their child was born, it means their child is not automatically a citizen. Their child could get citizenship, but that would require them, 1, to be allowed to enter the country legally as an immigrant, and 2, for them to be in the physical and legal custody of my sister. This is where the problem happens. Their child is a citizen of her father's country, and the court there won't let my sister have custody or bring their child here. All the times my sister has tried and appealed, the court says the current country is their home. Their child has no ties to the U.S. and has never been here, and my sister has no right to remove them from their home country. They also say the free health care and better standard of living means their child should stay, and even talk about how much safer it is there versus here. Even though the law about an unmarried mother giving citizenship to their child born in another country has changed, it doesn't apply after the fact. My sister's child was born a year before the law changed, so it doesn't count in their case. The U.S. has an agreement with the country my sister lives in about custody agreements and child support, so the courts here can't do anything. My sister has tried going to court and then appealing decisions both here and in the other country. She has hired lawyers in both countries. She has gone to politicians in both countries. She's had all kinds of consults with experts in international law. And no matter where she turns, the law is against her, and her ex says their child will not ever come here until they are 18 and can decide for themselves. Her choices are either to stay in the other country, where her ex has their version of legal and physical custody, and sister would have visitation, not 50% but close. She can also try to meet the requirements for citizenship, or she can move back to St. Louis and then go back to the other country once or twice a year for a visit. To help my sister pay for her huge legal bills, my parents remortgaged their house. It was basically paid off, but now they are underwater on it. They gave her their entire savings as well. My mom didn't work after my sister and I were born, but she's had to get a job as a cashier because of my parents' financial situation. My dad won't be able to retire now. They are looking if there's any social assistance because of how bad things are. I'm terrified that something will happen that will make their situation worse, like an accident or illness, because of how bad the situation is. Even after all this, they are still hell-bent on helping my sister. I don't have the money to look after them if anything goes wrong. I'm a phlebotomist. I don't have piles of money lying around to help my parents, and even now they are still giving my sister money. My sister is almost massively in debt. Before now, neither of my parents asked me for money, but now that my parents and my sister have found out I'm taking a vacation, they want me to cancel it and give the money to my sister. I finished my training in 2020, and the last 4 years in the healthcare sector have been so stressful. I haven't had more than 3 days off in a row since I started my job. I'm going on a Viking cruise, and I've been looking forward to it for over a year. I don't want to cancel it. I currently do not have any debt, but they are pressuring me to go into debt for my sister. My parents have visited my sister's child. They have visited the other country and regularly do video calls and phone calls. But I think my parents and my sister are still in denial about the situation. When I said I'm not canceling my cruise or going into debt to help my sister, all 3 of them got so angry. My sister lost it on me, and my parents backed her up and said they were disappointed in me. Besides my sister's child, the 3 of them are the only family. But my parents and my sister won't talk to me unless it's to tell me how angry they are. It just sucks that they won't even talk, though I know I'm right and won't change my mind. While I feel sorry for OP's sister and the unpleasant situation she is in, I personally think she is never going to win this fight, and lawyers will keep taking money from those willing to give. OP should go on the vacation and enjoy herself. OP worked hard for it. Also, OP should not give her sister 1 penny of her money. It would be as useful and wasteful as throwing it down the toilet and flushing it away. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Never set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. Your parents can choose to let their money go up in flames. You do not have to add your own fuel to her dumpster fire. This. As much money as your parents and sister have poured into this sad situation, no amount from you can possibly make a difference. She is fighting a lost cause, and the only beneficiaries are the lawyers. She will have to remain where she is until her daughter is 18, then revisit her and daughter's future. Your poor parents have lost all their assets for a lost cause, sadly. I feel for them, but there's no reason for you to do the same. Once you have a kid in another country that is not yours with a partner from that country, you basically take the chance that someday you'll have to give up your own country for the kid. If OP's sister tried to take the kid out of the country without the other parent's consent, that would be called parental kidnapping, and it's a felony that would land her in jail. I have 2 kids with an American man, and even though we split 10 years ago, I did not try to take them away from him so I could go back to Europe. Kids deserve to be raised by both parents, unless one of them doesn't care and is giving them up. So I'll be in the US until my kids are grown up. Does it suck? Yes, it does. I've missed weddings, funerals, and family reunions back home because I don't have the budget to go back whenever I please. Is it worth it? Of course it is. For my kids, and that's what matters most. Even if OP's sister had all the money in the world, I don't think she could convince a court that what her kid needs is to be separated from their dad because she wants to go home. That's insane, delusional, and selfish, in my opinion. I, 28 female, am getting married in 2 months to my wonderful fiancé, John, 30 male. We've been together for 4 years, and he's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. We have a great relationship, and I couldn't be happier. John is kind, caring, and has always been supportive of me and my goals. We've built a life together that I am incredibly proud of, and I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with him. However, my sister Anna, 26 female, has always had a complicated relationship with me. Growing up, we were close, but in the last few years, things have become strained. Anna has always been a bit of a gossip, and it's caused a lot of problems in our family. She's the type of person who can't keep a secret, and it's led to many uncomfortable situations over the years. John had a bit of a troubled past that he's been open and honest about with me. When it comes to his early 20s, he made some mistakes and got into some legal trouble. It wasn't anything major, just some minor offenses that he deeply regrets. He learned from those experiences and has completely turned his life around. John worked hard to build a successful career and become the man he is today, and I admire him for his growth and resilience. Recently, Anna found out about John's past through a mutual acquaintance. Instead of coming to me first or keeping it to herself, she immediately told our parents. Our parents are very conservative and have high expectations for their children and our partners. When they heard about John's past, they freaked out. They started questioning if John was the right person for me and if I really knew him. They even suggested that I reconsider the wedding. The news created a huge family argument. My parents called me in a panic, demanding to know why I hadn't told them about John's past. They accused me of hiding things from them and making poor decisions. It was incredibly hurtful, and I felt completely blindsided by the whole situation. I tried to explain that John's past didn't define who he is now and that I love him for the person he has become, but they wouldn't listen. I confronted Anna about why she felt the need to share John's past with our parents. She said she was just looking out for me and thought I deserved to know the truth. I told her that I already knew and that it wasn't her place to share that information. She argued that families should always be honest with each other, but I felt like she had crossed a line. After this incident, I decided not to invite Anna to my wedding. I feel like she betrayed my trust and caused unnecessary drama in my life during what should be a happy time. When I told her she wasn't invited, she cried and said I was being unfair and that she just was trying to protect me. She begged me to reconsider, but I stood firm in my decision. Now my parents are also upset with me for not inviting Anna. They think I'm overreacting and that I should forgive her. They believe that family should come first, no matter what, and that I should let bygones be bygones. They have even threatened to not attend the wedding themselves if Anna isn't invited, which has added even more stress to the situation. I'm feeling incredibly torn. On one hand, I want to stand my ground and show Anna that her actions have consequences. On the other hand, I don't want to cause a rift in my family and potentially have my parents miss my wedding. John has been supportive through this ordeal and has said that he'll stand by whatever decision I make. But I can tell that he's also hurt by the way my family has reacted. So am I the a-hole for not inviting my sister to my wedding after she told our parents about my fiancé's past? Should I prioritize my relationship with my family, or am I right to exclude Anna from my special day? Well, if she would have come to OP first instead of the parents, Maybe I would believe that she was just looking out for OP. If OP's sister really cared for OP, she would have come to OP, not to their conservative parents. She knew she was kicking up a storm, and she wanted the drama. Well, she gets what she deserves, to be excluded from the wedding. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Don't invite any of them. If Anna is such a gossip, and your family had a big fight over what she told them, does any part of you truly believe that none of them would cause drama at your wedding? What's to stop Anna or your parents from confronting John about his past right in front of everyone? And if they don't support the relationship, why would they really want to attend anyways, unless they have something wicked planned? Anyway, not the a-hole for uninviting the gossip. She definitely didn't feel you deserved to know the truth, or she would have gone straight to you instead of telling everyone else first. Not the a-hole. Your sister overstepped by sharing information that wasn't hers to share, especially given the potential fallout with your conservative parents. It's your wedding, and you have the right to choose who you want there. Your parents' reaction is disappointing, but it's crucial to stand firm in your decision and prioritize a positive, supportive environment for your special day. No parents want their child to date an ex-con, and your sister is under no obligation to hide your partner's criminal past from them. But if she was looking out for you, she should have told you and the parents at the same time, not go behind your back. Technically, this is your wedding, and you are in charge. But losing your family over them finding out about someone's past may not be really in your interests. So, kinda not the a-hole, but think it through. Context. I, 30 female, have been with my partner, 36 male, for 4 years, and we have a 2-year-old child together. I have 5-year-old twins, full-time custody as their dad passed away, and he has 2 children, 7 and 12, who he has 50-50 custody of. I was brought up in a pretty wealthy family, where me and my siblings attended private school, and this was something that I valued and wanted any future children of mine to attend also. My twins are now finishing their first year of school at the private school I attended. I pay for their tuition, and my husband knew they would be going, as I made it very clear that I valued this. He also agreed that it was a good investment and would want our child to attend also, paying half each when the time comes. His children do not attend a private school, but attend highly ranked public schools. Since the twins started school, his ex has been causing issues and saying that it is unfair and showing favoritism that my children attend a better school than theirs. My husband agreed, and they applied for the same school. But when time came to accept the offer, baby mama changed her tune and could no longer afford to pay her half. Note that my husband pays alimony and child support totaling to almost 50% of his wage, and we pay for most other miscellaneous expenses. My husband asked if I would pay for her half, and I said no. Ever since this happened, he has been distant and accuses me of not loving his children enough and treating them differently. Yes, I could afford the other half, but I don't feel that it is my responsibility. I never asked my husband for any financial help towards the upbringing of my children, and wouldn't expect that of him. I felt confident in my decision to refuse, but his constant negativity, the comments from his ex, and judgment from his family for not paying are making me doubt myself. Am I in the wrong here? Edited to add, I have offered to pay some of the fees. I offered for all of us to sit down and discuss finances and abilities to contribute. This was refused, and baby mama shut down and began refusing to pay any of the fees. The situation could have been avoided had discussions like these been had prior to application. I was not involved in, only informed of, the application, as they are not my children, so it was none of my business. But it is now all my business when they want me to pay for the entire thing. I'm going to talk to significant other and see if baby mama wants to open discussions, and maybe something can be arranged for the next enrollment. I pay 80% of all finances. I pay for our holidays and day trips, all of which we arrange during our time with stepkids. I'm also the sole contributor to their college funds currently. I completely take on board comments about how the children might feel, as ultimately, I think this is the most important thing. Conversations with them have ended in them expressing not wanting to move away from friends, 12-year-old especially, or being neutral either way. This is absolutely something baby mama pushed for and led, and had she been open from the start, I'm sure something could have been arranged. So OP is paying 80% of the bills, paying for her 2 kids by herself, and putting money in his kids' college funds, and he refuses to pay for OP's? I'm starting to think OP's husband met his sugar mama and is a gold digger, and X is very clever in trying to use OP as well. Not the a-hole. His ex should pay for half, just like you do. His ex literally planned this. She had no intention of paying half, ever. She wanted a freebie, and causing a rift in your relationship is a cherry on top. Wait, his kids with her live with her? They have joint split custody, and her house is the kids' primary residence. So the kids all don't live together. If so, tell her to pound sand, and tell him there are two separate families here with kids who have two separate needs, and he needs to get with the program and knock it off. Expecting you to pay so they can be in private school doesn't take into consideration that they and their educational needs are not your responsibility. My parents are divorced, and my brother 12 male and I, 16 female, split time between mom and dad. Our dad remarried after the divorce 9 years ago. His wife has a daughter, 10 female, who lives with them full time now, but their dad was around for a little while when they first got together, and he left after my dad's wife won custody officially. He doesn't pay anything for his kid, and my dad and his wife are the ones covering everything for her. My dad and his wife haven't been doing so good with money for a couple of years, and this year's been the worst yet for them. My mom is doing better than ever, though, and she's really been stable with money. So my brother and I have a much better life than our stepsister. We get to do extracurriculars, and we get nicer stuff in general. This got so much more obvious lately because my brother got to do 2 field trips, and I got to do an international trip with my school last year. My stepsister had a field trip come up a couple of weeks ago, but my dad and his wife couldn't afford to pay for it. They asked my mom to pay, and she said no. They asked my brother to ask my mom, and he didn't. So Dad asked me to ask Mom. He told me how much his stepdaughter wanted to go, but the school didn't have a fund to cover for families who couldn't afford it. He told me he knows it's not Mom's job, but they were desperate and just wanted her to have a nice time, and she knows my brother and I never miss out, and he didn't want her to feel less important. I didn't ask. My dad got super pissed when the field trip came, and neither my brother or I asked Mom. And my stepsister didn't get to go, which super pissed him off. Am I the a-hole? I will never understand adults when they involve kids in adult affairs. Kids should be kept out of it. OP doesn't need the headache about her stepsister and her dad's and stepmother's financial struggles. OP's father asking OP and OP's brother to nag their mother to cover his responsibilities was beyond inappropriate, and he should never have put OP in such an uncomfortable position. It's not OP's job to manage his finances and family responsibilities, and it's not OP's mom's responsibility either. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Not the a-hole. I appreciate your mom and bio dad are not together, and it really is not your mom's job to pay for your stepsister. It is for the stepsister's mom to pay for this type of thing. In any case, your mom had already said no. Did your dad expect her answer to change just because you were asking? Not the a-hole. Your dad is, though. Attempting to manipulate his own children to go around his ex over something that is none of their business is so wrong. Your dad and his wife need to go after his wife's child's father for child support. This is not your mother's problem, nor in any way something you or your brother should be brought into. Inform your mom on what your dad tried to pull. Your brother, being younger, might get more pressure from them in the future if it's not shut down. Not the a-hole. Her dad should be paying. Your dad shouldn't be trying to get you to ask. Honestly, I think you should tell your mom he tried to manipulate you into asking.